Ohtani Tuesday trade deadline version. Welcome back, Damon Bruce. It's great to be with you. Thank you for joining me no matter where you're from. And if you are from Japan, konnichiwa. It is wonderful to have you back here again. And all I can tell you about Shohei Ohtani is that he has survived the trade deadline. Everything the Angels said they wouldn't do, they didn't do. They said that they didn't want to trade him. They weren't going to take back a less than ideal package. And apparently no team came forward with the Godfather offer that the Angels just couldn't say no to when it came to trading for Shohei Ohtani. What does this mean? Well, it means the Angels are officially trying to sell him the illusion that they are going for it. And it's more than an illusion. Like, they took the steps. They've added a couple of big pitchers at the trade deadline. They remain, 3 games out of the wild card, 5.5 games back in their own division, I believe. It is a curious situation that the Anaheim Angels find themselves in, but they remain in business with Shohei Ohtani until the end of the year, and that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about his stats. I don't want to talk about the fact the Angels lost to the Braves tonight, and Ohtani had an unremarkable game. He stole a base. I think he got a base hit, sacrifice RBI, but Ohtani didn't do much tonight, but what he is going to do this offseason is going to be nothing short of one of the single greatest free agent recruiting trips any Major League Baseball player ever took. Might he resign with Anaheim? I'd be really surprised. I don't think they've given him a lot of reason to stick around, but dollars are going to talk. And the Angels completely dressed up their situation to show to him, we want to win with you. This isn't about the future. This is about you coming back with Trout. And we're building a better team around you. Now, whether or not Ohtani says, okay, I agree with all that, well, we'll have to find out. When I think about Shohei Ohtani in another uniform, I can't help but think of how great he would be in a Giants uniform. And if he really is a free agent this summer, taking the tour, the winning team is going to offer the most money. I mean, we can get romantic and talk about how Shohei, he wants to win and all he wants to do is win. But I've never seen an athlete leave money on the table in the name of winning when they could go and get paid somewhere else. I can't remember it. So I'm not expecting it to happen here. Again, Ohtani is special, but he's not an angel. Let's be well, no, actually he is an angel, but you know what I mean. He is not heaven sent to the point where money is just not something he's going to factor here. When I think about the offer that is going to land Ohtani, I can't even imagine what that number looks like. Are you going to try to give him $600 million over 8 years, 9 years? What is that number going to be? It's going to be remarkable. It's going to be the biggest salary ever agreed to in the history of North American sports. There's probably very little doubt about that. Here's my bold move. Thinking about Ohtani's age, what he represents, what he could be, how about this? And this sounds nuts, but it would officially be a position that you'd dare him to say no to. What about $1 billion for the rest of Shohei Ohtani's career? How does he say no to that? I mean, obviously, you'd have some elevators built into that. You'd want him at least 10-year commitment there. You know, you wouldn't want him retiring early after you gave him $1 billion. But I think he'd be worth it. I think he'd be worth it in attention, revenue, ratings, and the way that players' salaries are escalating and ballooning. Maybe that's a deal a decade from now. The price of business in sports continues to go up in a ridiculous fashion. $1 billion for the greatest show Major League Baseball has ever offered to a single paying customer. That sounds like a pretty good deal over about a decade. Now, obviously, you'd want to go ahead and give him his best chance to win. And if giving one guy $1 billion means he can't spend any money anywhere else, well, then you don't do that. But I really do think it's not unreasonable. $900 million then? Make someone go to $1 billion? It's going to be the biggest free agent carnival baseball has ever seen if Ohtani really takes a trip around the majors to be wooed by those who think they've got deep enough pockets to land the greatest major leaguer of not just our lifetimes, but basically anyone's lifetimes. $1 billion for the rest of Ohtani's career. It actually sounds fair to me. But again, I'm kind of a fan. Thanks so much for tuning into a trade deadline version of Ohtani Tuesdays. We'll be back next week to see what he's done, what the Angels have done, and if they really are going to turn themselves into contenders. Feels like it'll be a little bit of a shock if that's what actually happens. Meanwhile, thank you very much for tuning in. Please do subscribe if you're not already. And remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it.